Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So today we're going to do an ATC on the printer paper ATCs that I made the other day, which I will link the video in the description down below, as well as the end of my video. So you can go check it out if you are not familiar. So they are 2.5 by 3.5. That's what your basic ATCs are. And I'm using a onion bag for texture, as well as Crayola markers, which are water soluble, and the Crayola Twistables that I love. They are water soluble as well, and you will see me use them coming up. So I'm using some blue paint and makeup sponges that I got from my local dollar store. You get a lot for $1. And I'm just dabbing it in, and I'm going to dab it off. I don't want too much, and I'm just taking it around a little bit, not to be solid. You can see that delicious texture. Now I'm going to use my heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, use your hair dryer or just leave it dry for a minute. It dries fast. And now you have layer 1 of your mixed media background for your ATC cards. Now I'm going to use a water-soluble Crayola marker the same way, but you're going to see we're going to get a completely different texture. And you can see it's beautiful. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. If you don't have paint, use your markers. And look at that. Delicious. See? You wouldn't know what came from what. And these, using the printer paper, you can see they sink in, so they're not as water soluble as you might think on the printer paper. Now you can wet it and take it around like I am on your mat, your nonstick mat, or use wax paper, whatever you have. And you get a nice light color going around that adds takes that white edge off that everybody's nervous about. And you can see 2 different looks from one thing. And of course you can scrunch it up and use it as texture as well. Now I'm going to use some of the Martha Stewart Pearl, what color is this? Yellow, school bus. And you can see how deliciously pearl it is. Look at that. Oh, and I'm just going to lay it around. Not everywhere. Just, yep, there you go, there you go, there you go. I'm going to do the same on the other side. It'll blend a little bit greener, not much, but you can see. I don't put it all over, but you certainly can if you want. And it just adds a little bit of shimmer. It's just so pretty. And now I'm just kind of dry brushing it around the rest of the way. And you can see 2 different looks. Now that blue I hate wasting, and this I used the other day. And I'm just going to put that all over there so I don't waste that blue. Have a piece of printer paper sitting next to you so you can just take all that extra and put it on there and make another mixed media paper, you know, and use it for ATC or your journal or whatever you got. These are twistables. You can see I'm showing you how big they are. You get a lot. You get that whole, all those colors in one package. And this is a little bit of foam I got in a package of little sticky buttons, which you're going to see brings such great texture. So make sure you look in your packages and stuff like that and see what you get, because those little foam things, bubble wrap, all that stuff is so good. Now I'm just spraying it with a little bit of water. And I'm squishing some of that orange in there so I can make it like a stamp. And these are just different techniques I'm giving you. Nothing, you know. And did you see the beautiful texture? I'm drying it off, and I'm going to use a darker color. Now look how dark and beautiful this is. Oh, so good. And look at that. Now the bottom one had a little bit too much water, but look, I'm not hating on it. I'm just going to keep stamping and pull a little bit of that water around. And I'm stamping on all 3. Wiping it up so I don't get it all over the place, because you know I will. And now I'm drying it for the most part, just so I can move on. It's just, so much fun. So much fun. And look at all the colors you get. You get your Roy G. Biv, you get 2 blues, you get a purple, black, white, and you get a silver and gold metallic. And I'm going to show you real quick the silver and gold. Oh, it reminds me of a Christmas song. And you can see they're it's hard to see on here how shiny and delicious they are, but they are. You did get a nice metallic color. And that's just me wetting them on the paper. You can see the color. And when I wet them on the mat, you'll see they are even lighter. And remember, these are to be translucent. They're not to be opaque. And, you know, you want to see through them. You want that shine. And you can see it gets a little less. Scribbling that silver on there. There you go. There you go. A little bit more. And you just build up with it. The more water you use, the more translucent it will be. So they're beautiful. Use them. If you can get them, use a coupon with school and everything now. They're everywhere. I get mine at Michael's. Use your 50% off coupon, 40% off, and you get a great, they're like the Faber-Castell gelatos. And I'm using a plastic case if you don't have a non-stick mat. There goes my dog again. I swear to God. Yeah, and then I just wipe it off. And now I'm going to use a stamp and try to stamp with this. It doesn't work very well. You get some, a little bit of texture. You get the color, but it's not, oh my gosh, Spyro, please. You don't get, you know, what I want. I want markings, and it's really not giving me the markings I want. So I'm going to put a little bit of a stamp pad on there. This is for fabric, these stamps. And I just have to use something cushiony underneath, I think, to get a better stamp. This is a tea bag, empty, obviously, and you can use one that's already used. I like to wrinkle it up and wet it. And what I'm going to do is take my glue stick and stick it down on here. And I'm not sticking it on the whole thing. I'm just going to, you're going to see me rip it off because I want some of that color to come through. And leave those ends until they're dried, and you can cut them off very easily. And I'm just going to dry it for a minute, get some of that drying going on there, and cut off. There you go. See? No big deal. Now I want to take, look how beautiful that is already. I'm going to take the orange, no, the pink, that's right, the bright pink Crayola watercolor marker, and I'm putting it on the edges so they stick out a little bit more. And just running my finger in some water around it just to define those edges. I do like to use black, but some people get freaked out over that, so I'm just going to use some pink. And take it around the edges as well, and, you know, just add a little bit of color. Use these watercolor markers, you know, the Crayolas, to your advantage. I mean, look how vibrant and beautiful that looks already. And that's just adding a little bit of these colors. So you see, I got 3 cards, and they're completely different. And they started out with the same colors. And that's so much fun. Put them out everywhere. I got this from Holler. I talked about it the other day. I'll put that link down below as well. I got these for $1, so I wanted to try them on here to see how how they'll look and how they'll dye. So I ended up only putting it on the edges on the bottoms. I was going to frame it all, and then I thought, nah, it's going to be too much. And you can see they glue, they're self-adhesive, but of course, you know, use yarn, use fabric, use whatever you have around the house and just play with it. There you go. And now you know I gotta color it, so, and that's just tulle. You can use a little bit of tulle that you get. You can get these at the dollar store as well. I'm gonna use my pink marker again. I'm putting it on my mat, wetting it with my paintbrush, and I am painting that to dye it because that's what I bought it for. I got that color, and I got a off-white color. And look at that. It dyes perfectly with the watercolor crayon, or marker rather. Now I got to put some glitter because you know we got to have glitter. Look at that. And that'll dry. It's hard to see it on the camera, but once it's dry, it's beautiful. And now I want to write a word, just very easy, and I'm going to do it dark. My marker does not work. I have horrible markers. I got to buy new markers. Now I could use a stamp, but I'm only going to use the beginning letter of the stamp, and I'm going to end up using purplish black to stamp. You're going to see the first one does not stamp. Blah, nothing. So I got to go back in with a darker, a different marker, which is purple. And then I'm going to stamp it. I'm just, like I said, using the first. I have horrible handwriting, so I'm not good at writing fancy letters. I try my best, but they're horrible. So I'm just showing you, you can definitely write it in. And I'm just writing my favorite word, breathe, and then I will, you know, make it a little bit darker. And then you're going to see, you know, how they all look different, these cards. You really can get some poster board from your dollar store too for $1. Cut them up 2.5 by 3.5 and just set them all out and use colors and make beautiful, beautiful ATCs. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, please be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. I love you guys. Bye.